What's going on, my fellow racers in CSR Racing 2 world? This is MrXsee coming at you again. We're going to go ahead and do a main garage walkthrough. So for those who are new to the game, this is going to be able to help you out and get a better understanding of what CSR2's main garage looks like. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in. So the first thing you're going to notice in the game, in the top left hand corner, I currently have a little yellow orange exclamation point on it, and it has a little calendar on it that lets me know that Jerry's Daily Bonus is actually available right now. And when I click on it, top left corner, Jerry's Daily Bonus pop up, and I'm at the end of my 28-day cycle, and the prize that I get is actually going to be 3 gold keys. So I'm going to go ahead and collect those. And congratulations, I earned my 3 gold keys. My next prize is up in 22 hours and 5 minutes. So in less than 22 hours, this screen will pop back up again, and it will actually have everything available for me to be able to pull from instead of having everything greened out. So you can see the different options available. So right next to that, on the right of it, it's currently highlighted in green, is your fuel. Now your fuel, by default, if you haven't played in roughly about 1 hour to 1 hour and 10 minutes, your fuel gauge will look just like this. And every time you drive a race, you'll lose a fuel pip, and it'll go down by 1 unless you have any type of special races going on. And then in which point you might lose 2 or 3 fuel pips. But it always tells you how much fuel is going to be available for each race. So if you want to go more than this green color, you can actually tap on the fuel gauge, and you can go in and get more fuel. So you can watch a short video right now at this very moment and get 1 fuel pip. You can ask your friends on Facebook for 5 fuel pips, or you can purchase 10 fuel pips by using 20 gold coins. So in this particular case, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some, and you can go all the way up to purple. So once I purchase 10, it's gonna go up to 20, because currently there's 10, you buy it in 10 at a time. And when I purchase 10 more, it's gonna go up from gold into purple. And just like that, and that's the maximum amount of fuel that you can have. If I try to buy more fuel, it tells me your gas tank is currently full. Refill when you have some gas, when you've used some gas. So once it goes off of purple, then you'll be able to buy more fuel. But once you get into the purple range, you can't get any more fuel. So to the right of that, you see the actual manufacturer label that they have in the game. Each car has a manufacturer associated with. In this particular case, it shows up as Bugatti, and it tells you the car, which make and model it is. So it tells me that I have a CSR Red 2 Chiron. If I click over here, this then shows me that this is the Chevrolet Z28. If I click on this car over here, it tells me that this is a Continental GT Speed, and the manufacturer is Bentley. Now to the right of that, it's going to give you your RP. Right now my RP shows up as 797,574, and then it switches around and it shows you 29%. This 29% is comprised of numbers. If you click on a little arrow right below it, it tells you what those is. So my crew bonus, currently I get 20%. The rare car is going to be for 9% because this is a 3-star car. Every star gets you a 3 percentage points, and if you get purple stars, that's an additional 3 percentage points on top of it. So for a good visual example of that real quick, I'm going to switch on over to the Z28 again. And as you can see, it has 15% on there for the rare car because it's only gold. So there's 5 stars times 5, that gets you 15%. I have an elite bonus on this car. I used it for my elite license, so I got an additional 10%. And freshness on it, because it has additional stars on it, I can't customize it, so it has permanent freshness associated with it. And that's 10%. Now if I had a wild card going on right now, it'll show the wild card, which one it is. It should be a percentage base. 30% for the Jerry, the Jess is 70%, and the Beto is going to be 150%. Now just to show you the percentages difference, now here go a purple star, and that shows up as 18%. And that's because this is a purple star. So 5 stars gets you 15%, the additional purple gets you additional 3%, which makes it 18% total. Now to the right of that, at the very top, is going to show you the cash. I currently have 35,793,166, and right below that is going to be the current gold coins that I have. The gold coins that I have is 39,606. Now the last item on the top row here is going to be on the very right, and that's going to be the plus with the gold square. Now you click on that, that takes you into the screen to be able to buy things. So if you want to purchase gold coins, you can purchase them from $4.99 for 500 of them, on up to $99.99 for 16,500. Now these prices are going to be the cost of it plus any type of applicable taxes for your environment. So based upon your city, your state, your county, your country, those different factors factor in on if there's going to be any taxes and how much it'll be. So you can also select cash, anywhere from 15,000 on up to $1 million. And you can also buy keys. So you can buy your bronze keys for $4.99 or $9.99. You can buy your silver keys for $8.99 or $19.99, or you can buy your gold keys for $19.99 or $99.99. Now, what this roughly equates out to for your gold keys is going to be 12.5 pulls. So you get 12 fill pulls because you use 10 gold keys at a time plus an additional 5. For your bronze keys, it's the same way, 12 pulls because there are 100 bronze keys for each pull, and you get 50 additional. Now your silver keys are a little bit different. You get 410 silver keys, and when you use silver keys, you use those at 50 at a time. So we're doing 50 at a time, and you get 8 pulls for that. So the others with the silver, with the bronze and with the gold, you get 12 pulls and a half, but with the silver you get 8 pulls plus an additional 10. So they changed up the system. It used to be actually more that you used to get, so you used to get 12.5 as well, but they changed that up. Now, one thing that's missing on the screen right now is that there's, from time to time, will be up any type of value packs that they have, where basically they make an offer to you, and it's titled offer typically, and based on your status in the game and where you're at, it'll actually be an offer that shows up on there. When you click on that, you get some type of additional bonus package, and most of the time it's a combination, so you can get some cash, some gold, some keys along the lines with that. But when they do have offers available, if the offer looks good to you and you can financially afford it, take the offer. If you cannot afford it or it doesn't look good, you don't accept the offer. Pretty simple. You can always take a look at these things and see what they are. I don't recommend going in every day and looking at it, because unless you're willing to give them plenty of money, then feel free, go on in, take a look at these items and make purchases as necessary. So next up we're going to look at, I'm on an Apple device that has the ability for augmented reality, and that's going to be the top icon with the little camera with the square box. When I tap on that, it pops up the option, and it goes into real world or model scale, and it's actually going to provide you with, you can select that and the scan. I'm not going to actually do a demo of the scanning. There's a bunch of videos out there, and maybe one day I will do a video on that, but I'm not doing that right now. But that's what it looks like when you have the augmented reality. Next up is going to be the squares right below that. Now there's 9 squares that let you know how to change in your garage. So if you want to change in your garage, you can tap on the big garage door on both sides of your garage. But if you're not going from one garage, you want to skip over 5, 6, or 7 garages if you have that many, you tap on that icon, and then you get to see all your garages with all your cars in there. So say, for example, I want to go to garage number 1, I will scroll over just like that, and then I'll be able to get into garage 1 and select the car. Sometimes it does pop up where you have to tap on the car in order to see the snapshot of it, and all you have to do is just tap on it like that. It does a loading, and then the car gets presented to you. There is no limitation of how many garages you can have. So if you got 500 cars, then you'll have, or actually for mathematics base, if you have 600 cars, you'll have 60 garages. Is that correct? Because there's 6 cars per garage. So based on that, you have 100 garages. Excuse me, bad math. So if you had 600 cars, you'll have 100 garages. I personally don't keep all my cars like that, so I don't have that many. I tend to strip them, but if I was to go back and keep all of my cars, then I probably would have well over 600 cars. But it just makes it very difficult to be able to scroll through your garage and look for different cars when you have too many. So right below that, you have your crew hangout icon. It shows a number on it, and this number is actually associated with it, what type of information is available in your crew. So for example, right now in my crew, I have 18 crew milestones that we've achieved already that's available, and I have 3 wild cards that are available in my crew. So just like that, you get your wild cards, that's the 3. You get your milestones, that's 18. And that's how you're able to take a look at and see what your number means there. So whenever you come in, if your crew does not keep wild cards available for you to use, then that number won't show up. And if you don't have any milestones available, then that number will not show up. But if you do have those available, those numbers will pop right up. Now the bottom number, right below that, there's a bottom number. Currently it says 16, and it's a white eye. When you click on that, that's your information screen. This gives you a little bit of information for you to know about. For one, it gives you the information about your car that you have highlighted. So in this case, the Chiron Red Edition is a 4-wheel drive for the drive type, have over 4,000 miles on it, 42 out of 42 upgrades, 132 out of 135 fusion. The original color is ruby. The value is $3,766,000. Now I can strip this car, but this particular car I am not able to strip. So when I click on it, it's going to tell you you need the Bugatti to participate in the event, so you can't strip the car. I'll go to a different car where I actually can strip and show you what that looks like. But you also have the option to sell a car. Excuse me. This particular car I can't sell either, so I can't strip it and I can't sell it. What are you doing? You can't sell this car. It's really rare and you'll regret it for sure. But the last item where the numbers is at is actually my inventory. So when you click on your inventory, it's going to then show you the different inventory reflected by numbers. So any particular inventory part that you have has a number associated with it. So for example, Alfa Romeo, I have 1. The left top in the green, this is an uncommon engine part, and I have 1 of those. In this particular case, I have 19 of them. Then for the turbo, it's a rare. I have 8 blue or 8 rare turbos. And the next up, we're going to look at nitro. I have 5 epic nitros. Then I can hit the back button. Or I'm going to show you another little trick. Something that many people know, but just in case you don't. So looking at the Bugatti, I have 5 additional parts there. But if you click on the Stage 6 upgrades from here, it immediately takes you to the Bugatti section of the Stage 6 upgrades, instead of looking at the Bugatti and going back to the main list. So that's one way you can look at Stage 6 inventory for a particular manufacturer, by looking at the fusion parts or the Stage 6 while you're in there. So in this particular case, we're going to hit back while we're on the Stage 6. And when you hit back, you're going to be in the Stage 6 view of the section there. So in this particular case, I had a Nissan Stage 6. And you can scroll on up and see which part it is. Sometimes the Nissan, or not the Nissan, but sometimes the parts don't show you with an icon on which one in particular it is. And that happens, as a part of the game. And you can see the different parts. So you can click back over on fusion parts. You can click up on Lamborghini in this case, 33, that's there. Click on 4, 25, 30, 30, 29, so you can see what your inventory is. Now, epic inventory is going to be very rare to get. You're not going to get a lot of those parts. So when you put those, make sure that you're very selective with what cars you want to put those on. Next up on the rarity is going to be the rare fusions. So when you look at the number of fusions that I have here, it gets you a pretty good idea that some fusions are less common than others. So the epic ones are very rare, the rare commons are rare, and the uncommons are ultra easy to get. So whenever you're putting them on cars, you can feel free to put those on different cars. But make sure you only put it on cars that you want to keep. Any cars that you're not for sure about, wait to put it on, because you might want to strip that car and it's going to cost you gold coins to strip that car. So I'm going to jump out of the inventory and I'm going to go to a car where I can strip or sell the car, so you'll be able to see that example, since the Chiron Red is not eligible for me to do that. So we'll go back over to the Bentley. We'll go back to the info. If I try to sell the car, now this car goes for $2,200,500, but if I want to sell it, they'll give me a good old $50,800. If I try to strip it, the beauty of stripping is that you're going to get parts back from the car so that you can be able to utilize on other cars. Now, the parts that you get are only going to be based on that manufacturer if they're epic, uncommon, or rare. If the parts are Stage 6, then they're only going to be for that particular car. Stage 6 parts are manufacturer and car specific. The fusion parts are only manufacturer specific. So if I want to strip this, because I have parts on it, it's going to cost me $100,000 in cash. It's also going to cost me 15,980 gold coins because I have 102 fusion on it and I have 7 stage 6. So if I want to strip this car, I'm going to have to hit that button and lose all that that inventory out of there. But I'm going to get something back that I can use. So in this particular car, I have 102 out of 110 on the fusions, and I have 42 out of 42 upgrades, and I've only driven the 42.75 miles for a 4-wheel drive apple green color Bentley Continental GT Speed. So now we've covered the top, we covered the side. Let's go ahead and cover the bottom. We're going to cover the bottom by going from left to right, and we're going to go to the buy car section. You go to this zone if you actually want to buy a car with either cash or gold. And when you come in here, you can purchase cars one of two ways. You can either go by tier and click on T1, T2, T3, T4, or T5, or you can select the manufacturer themselves to be able to go buy that car from that manufacturer. So for this example, we'll go to the Fiat Abarth, and we click on that. There's only one Fiat in the game, so we can't scroll and select anything else. And if we wanted to buy it, it's going to be 28,500 cash or 120 gold coins. Now, when you come out of the screen, you're going to always be reset back to the same 10 manufacturers that shows up at the bottom. So we're going to scroll on over again just for examples, and we're going to now look at the Audi. There's more than one Audi in the game, so there's going to be more selection to look through. So in this particular case, it pops up with the Audi RS5, the LB RS5 Coupe. Now with this car, as you can see, it tells you where imports is where it's available at. You can't purchase it because this is an additional star car. This is also a tier 3. When we look here at the RS5 Coupe, this is also a tier 3, but it has no stars on it. That means that its star value when you pull it from a crate is actually going to be 2 stars. Additional stars is going to be more than what the non-star version offers. So for example, this is another tier 3. This is the original tier 3 that we looked at. But now let's look at a tier 2. So this is a tier 2 that costs 79,000 or 290 gold coins in order to pick up. Once again, it's a tier 2. So with tier 1 and tier 2, the star versions of those cars is always going to be 1 star. With tier 3, it's going to be 2 stars. And with tier 4 and tier 5, it's going to be 3 stars. So for example, if you pull this car, this is the Audi Vorsteiner R8 VRS. This is actually going to be a 5-star car. So it's going to be ultra rare and difficult to pull. But you have the 2016 R8 V10 Plus Coupe. This is the tier 5 car. And this is a 4-star car. And then you have the 2014 tier 5 4-star. And then you have the 2014, which is a tier 4, no stars. So that means if you actually pull it from a crate, it's going to be 3 stars. So we're done looking at the demos here of looking at the buy car section. So let's go ahead and jump onto our next option, which is going to be our crates. Currently, we have a special going on crates with a drop because it's Prestige Cup time. So when Prestige Cup time comes around, they have a drop rate. In this particular case, we have 5 days and 5 hours left on the 10 times drop rate for our Nissan GTR. This is for the 2017 Nissan GTR. That's going to be in the silver. So there's an increased chance that you can get this 4-star car by pulling in the crates. You also get bronze crates, which is always free. Every 4 hours you get an opportunity to pull from it. If you don't pull it at 4 hours, it just sits there and waits for you to pull it, and then it resets down. This one is 100 bronze keys to pull the crate. In this particular case, I have 57,734. So I have roughly 577 pulls of the bronze crate. And after 10 pulls, they're going to give me a loyalty reward that's unknown. With that loyalty reward, you can actually receive fusion parts, so uncommon, the rare, or the epic, or even stage 6. And also every now and then you get to actually pull out and get a car. So typically you get 1 star, 2 star, but you can get 3, 4, or 5 star as well. Those are ultra rare, very uncommon to occur, but those can happen. So if you're pulling from the silver crate, right now with the build and how it's set up, after 15 pulls of silver crates, you get a reward of an actual car. That's the milestone 1, that's the Prestige Cup car. So with that Prestige Cup car, you're guaranteed to get it after 15 pulls. So if you don't pull it in 15 pulls, then guess what? You get the car, you can complete the Prestige Cup. Lastly on this list is going to be our gold crates. The gold crates are 3-star through 5-star cars. And before you get overly excited, we do have a couple 3-star cars that are tier 2. And those cars are the Honda Civic, the new Honda Civic, as well as the Ford Raptor. So you can get tier 2 cars out of the gold crate as well. It used to be the lowest one you would get was tier 3, but once they added in the Ford Raptor and then the Honda Civic, those cars are additional 3-stars, so you get those out of the crates. So most of the time, the crates, when you pull out of the gold, you get a lot of cars that are 3-star. Sometimes you get 4-star, and even rare, you get 5-star. They have that on drop as well from time to time, especially when the prize cup comes around. Whatever car we're racing in for the prize cup is on the drop. So that's something to consider there. Saving up your gold keys for that. But also, you can take a look at the silver keys, and you want to save that whenever the Prestige Cup is on and use that for the drop. Just realize that when you're pulling silver, you're going to get more 1- and 2-star cars. When you pull in gold, you're going to get more 3-star cars out of the pulls unless it's on the drops. And even when it's on the drop, you still have a greater chance of getting the lower star cars rather than the higher star cars. So pull at your own leisure. I don't recommend people pull just to pull hoping to get a particular car because it's very difficult to get that. So next up, we're going to have our upgrade screen. This is where you actually go to make purchases to buy upgrades for your cars. In this particular case, I have all the upgrades on the car. So currently I have every single one, but I actually have fusion parts I can put onto the car. So like this one, I can put a fusion here on this turbo, and I can put another epic on the turbo. Same thing with intake. There's 7 items that you can upgrade, and you can purchase upgrades from stage 1 to stage 5 with cash or gold. Stages 4 and stages 5 have a wait time to get if you purchase with cash and immediate delivery gold. So if you're looking to buy upgrades, feel free to get cash, just be patient. If you're looking at a tier 5 car, it's 6 hours. A tier 4 car is 3 hours. It's an hour and 30 minutes if you're going to buy a tier 3, 45 minutes for a tier 2, and for a tier 1, I believe it's 20 minutes that you have to wait for stage 4 and stage 5. Now with stage 6, that is only available on tier 2 through 5. On tier 1s, they're only at stage 1 through 5, and that's it. Once you buy those, you just bolt on the fusions for the car, and then you're ready to go, and everything is good to go. So just to recap, there's 7 stages that there's 5 stages that you buy for 7 parts for a grand total of 35 parts that you can buy for the car and fit. The last 7 you receive from Donna through the crates or any other means that they have to get you free parts for the individual cars. And that's it for the upgrade section. Now when you get into the tuning section, that's right next to the upgrades, this is where you can adjust your time with your car to make it go faster or slower based on what you want to do. So in order to do this, at the top, right below the name of the car, where it says the actual make of the car, in this case Continental GT Speed, you have T5, and then right next to that it says what my PP value is, that's 712, and it has my EV value, that's plus 914. By adjusting this bar, I can make that plus value go up, or I can make it go down. And the same thing with the tires. By adjusting this, I can make it go up, or make it go down rather, or I can make it go up. And just like that, you can adjust the performance of your car on how it actually performs. And the same thing with final drive. You scroll this on up, or you scroll it on down to change the values that's associated with it. And those numbers get higher and those numbers get lower based on how you adjust it. You can always take it for a free test run. You press that, it's going to ask, hey, are you sure you want to take it for a run? You confirm and you go drive it. Or you can press the dyno, hey, are you sure you want to spend $250? And you can get the dyno for it, either or. Now once you get done making changes, you back out. It asks, do you want to apply the changes? You can apply it or discard it. In this particular case, I'm going to discard the changes. So next up after the tuning screen, we have the actual customize screen. So when you looked up here on the screen, it said freshness and it says 0%. You go into the customize screen and you can actually then customize your car. Now, the cheapest items to customize will be your livery, your calipers, and your paint. Your interior will be the most expensive item that you customize. So what I typically do is I customize my interior on my cars, and then I leave that interior the same forever and ever and ever. And whenever I need to drive a particular car for reasons, because we get custom livery, custom interior, custom calipers, or custom paint, then I'll paint those cars and get that 10% on there. Now, one thing you can look at doing is, for example, another tip that I do, when I come in here, I always buy whatever's on discount. So when you click on the item, it always has a little dollar tag next to it. So if I wanted to select this one, it's going to be $44,000. But if I select the dollar sign one, it's going to be $22,000. So 50% off. Now you can use the cycle zones to change what actually is impacted by it. So in this particular case, you can do just the shoulder, or you can do the inverse of the shoulder. You can do the hood or the inverse of the hood. You can do the contrast, which in this particular case, contrast is going to be the mirrors and the little side panels on the side of the car on the bottom. Or you can do contrast. So in this particular case, we'll hit add. Calipers, once again, $14,000 instead of $28,000. So I always like to save a buck, especially when I'm just going to be using it just so that I can turn around and do the free races. And then paint. Military. All right, this is the paint job that we want to have, Sandstorm. And that particular paint was $20,000 instead of $40,000. And lastly, what I like to always do is deal with the license plate. I always bolt on the license plate when I get a car. If I'm keeping the car, it gets a license plate. In this particular case, all my license plates say too slow. Interior, same thing. Click on the interior, select whichever one you want. So it's $32,000 instead of $16,000. Interior is one that rarely comes up, but if you look at the right hand side, your livery is going to be $22,000 on discount, your caliper is going to be $14,000 on discount, your paint is going to be $20,000, and your interior is going to be $16,000. That's if you purchase it all on discount for a grand total of $72,000. If you pay full price for this, it's going to be $144,000. So you'll be buying this for different cars. As each tier it goes, the price goes down or it goes up based on if you're higher or lower. So always look at that and think about it. But if you want to pop out all the items on the car, that way you can take a look at it and see what it looks like. You can always hit the little button over there and you can open up all the doors and the trunks and anything like that that is open, and you can be able to take a look at it and see what it looks like. That's a personal choice. You can take a picture of it if you want to. I'm not a big fan of going in here and worrying about it. I personally look for discount and just roll from there. If it's on discount, I'll buy it. If it's not on discount, then I'm good. I'm done. I won't spend no money on it. I fitted customization options that need to be purchased. Are you sure you want to leave the shop without them? That's going to be yes in this particular case because I'm actually going to drive this car. So it got reverted back to what it was before, and just like that, we're all done. Now the last thing to take a look at on here, inside of the garage, we're going to show you this quick little game that they have built in. So if you look way past the purple Alfa Romeo over there, in the corner, we have a little arcade game. So if you click on that, but before we click on the arcade game, let's go out to the race button. Last thing we didn't talk about. This takes you to your racing screen so you can see what's in the game for you to be able to do. In this particular case, on this particular day, I have tuning trial available. On the center island, I've completed my prize cup, and the crew cup, I've completed that as well. I don't have any crew cup races to do. The prestige cup is available in 1 day and 7 hours. You can click on these different items and get different information. Since the prestige cup is not available, you can't do anything. It just says coming soon. The crew cup, if I wanted to do races, I can do races on it. I've claimed my prizes on it. And that's what shows up there. If I wanted to do the tuning trial, I can actually change the car and select any one of the cars, but I'll be doing a racing screen demo shortly. So look forward to that. So that being said, the last thing we're going to take a look at is going to be the racing game. So if you click over here on the arcade, you just simply click on it. And once you click on it, you get to go out to the arcade game. This is a cool little insert that they put into the game for anybody to be able to use. Now, the first race is free. Any additional races that you do is going to cost you a gold coin in order to continue to complete. So that's something to think about. So once I come out of here and go back in, it's going to say, hey, you need a gold coin. So just like that. So Once again, we'll go on in there and you'll pop up and you'll see it says right there, gold coin to continue. And just for kicks and giggles, it shows you what your cash and your gold coins is right there. See, tap to start. Alright, so your very first race is free. Any additional races cost you a gold coin in order to do. Alright, so with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for taking the time to look at the main garage walkthrough. Check out the other videos that I'm going to have for walkthroughs of the game. Until we talk, have yourself a great day. See you on the race strip. This is MrXsee. Until we talk, have a great day. Peace.